welcome back to the Ready State. So the Russians have a saying. They say the hands are clever. And on the surface, you're like, I'm not sure what that means, right? But what we really mean is that your forearms and wrists can solve a lot of problems upstream at the elbow and the shoulder. So should you be lacking rotation at the shoulder, even stuck, let's just say you were stuck in this position, your hands can still do what they need to do, right? The problem is, under speed load, under a lot of other load, when I'm lacking motion at the shoulder and I get stiff in the forearm, that elbow is caught in the middle of some bad tug of war. And so subsequently what we see is when we lack some of our fundamental ranges and expression of position, we see that the forearm and hand have to make up a lot of slack. And then add in maybe poor warm-up or adaptation response is not great. I smoked myself, but then didn't continue to decongest. Tissues just aren't ready to be loaded again. Add in alcohol, add in stress, add in sleep, add in having a baby, whatever it is, and then you go play golf, right? Or you play racket sports and you do a muscle up or something that requires a lot of rotation or stabilization or compensation through the forearm to make up for lack of shoulder, and what we have is a perfect disaster. So what you'll see is people like Ido Portal have been having people swing PVC pipes for a long time, which is so smart, right? And you can do this in a couple positions. You can do it short lever. So if this was a PVC pipe, right, you can work on some of the short lever rotation from different sides. And I'm just doing this with a bent elbow, right, adding in rotation. In fact, this is a Chris Duffin drill to be done with the shoulder rock. And the idea is just to hit some of these end ranges of rotation and get a little overpressure. Automatically, I'm just going to be touching those end ranges, right, with some of that overpressure. But then also can be done in long lever. So just getting comfortable, it doesn't have to be as heavy as this, but getting comfortable with some motion into these forearms. Now, all well and good. What we need to be thinking about is, well, how am I putting in this rotation into my training, right? Because what we want to do is try to get the stimulus, the meat in the training, in the accessory work, in the main training, and not have to do a bunch of add-ons. I don't need to put salt and pepper and mayonnaise and turmeric. Like, I just want to do my thing. And one of the ways that we know, for example, has come down through us through CrossFit. Even Greg Glassman said, hey, this pull-up needs to go this pull-up. And what we see is that athletes don't train time in both of these positions, right? They offer different advantages, but what we're really looking at is having this full range of motion here and full range of motion here, right? Can you work in both of these grip positions? And if the forearms aren't clever, if the hands aren't clever, you're not going to be able to do it, and we're going to end up seeing loss of possibility. So one of my favorite ways now to program some of this I've been thinking about, I have a couple neighbors who are a little stiff, mountain bikers, keyboard warrior guys, and an easy way is just to get a chunk of rope, and what you're gonna see as soon as you just start messing around with the rope is that you can be getting a ton of short lever positioning and long lever positioning where the arms are straight or the arms are bent. And all of a sudden, I'm getting tons and tons and tons of motion. So whether you're going for heavy rope or light rope, or you're using your own jump rope, this is a gorgeous way to be putting in some of this rotation work into your athletes as rehab play, so at least those tissues are perfused, at least those tissues are being loaded in a whole bunch of motion positions. So swinging with arms straight, swinging with arms bent. But as you're thinking about taking our people back off the computer, back into the world, one of the things we need to pay attention to is, hey, are we exposing them to all the shapes that I should be able to be in? And rotation, as you know, as a signature of the Ready State, has always been there. And what I don't want you to have to do is do all the work just from the wrist. But if you have to do all of the work from the wrist and not from the whole segment, at least have full opportunity to do so. So however you're thinking about that PVC pipe messing around, swinging a mace messing around, using a rope messing around, these are some different ways to apply some fun dynamic rotation to the forearm so that it doesn't become a problem later on. See you tomorrow.